We're back with Oprah's book, what I know for sure about connection. And connection is just another word that Oprah uses for love. And why not have one of the people that I love a lot in this whole wide world, talk about this chapter with me, which is my husband, my who's bond, because yeah, I love him. So we're going to talk about connection. And I want to see what he has to say about this. And if you agree with Oprah about what she knows for sure about connection and love. So she opens up the chapter with a quote. And that quote is by Mary Ann Williamson. She says that love is the essential exists. It is our ultimate reality and our purpose on earth. How do you feel about that? Like, is love the reason why we're here on earth? We're on earth to love each other and to show love. Jesus was on the earth. The Sadducees, the Pharisees, they asked him, Master, they were trying to trick him up. It's like, what's the greatest command? And he's here, showing love to people we don't even know. Just loving. So yeah, that's the reason why we're here. So she opens up her and she talks about, on the Oprah Winfrey show, she had this show about these husbands. And all of these husbands had cheated on their wives. And she wanted to know why.
And she wanted to know why,
yeah, she asked me, and like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to your wife? Like, why? And this is one guy's response. He said, there wasn't anything special about her, but she listened, was interested, and made me feel special. And how many times we heard that men cheat on a wife, and the wife and the woman doesn't look better than the wife. She's not as achieved as the wife. She's not as brilliant or articulate as the wife. She has nothing on the wife. But because that lady just listened to that man, he wanted to be heard. He wanted to be acknowledged.
Okay. Because maybe wife is not listening to him. Maybe your wife gives you problem when you come home, he's not. That's why. Maybe that's why.
Not saying we're giving you an excuse to go cheat on your wives or women to go cheat on your husbands, but we're saying that you should listen to them.
It's part of sometimes you have to listen to your husband. And your husband too have to listen to your wife. So I say, that's how it is. The relationship is so. So most men cheat is because you can only blame the lady or but maybe sometimes their lady they are problem. And the second one to say.
I was gonna say the reason why you have two ears and one mouth, so you can listen more and talk less.
I know this is not how everybody is. Sometimes like personality. Some people just like okay.
That's me. This is why we fit. This is why we gel so well together. I am the talker. I want to talk about everything. I know sometimes he's like, I wish he just would shut the hell up. But he never tells me that. He just pretends like he's listening. When I ask him a question, he doesn't know what I'm talking about. So is that not true? You be quiet. You pretend like you listening, but you're really not listening. But we make a great couple because
somewhere else you say I'm not listening.
He's quiet. Me, I talk. So probably you need to make sure you hooking up with the right personality. Because you told me that I would never If I would have dated some of your friends, we would never last because they both
They also like talk.
like talk.
So if something happen, like the fire on the mountain.
Fire on the mountain. Fire on the mountain. People want to be acknowledged. People want to be acknowledged and people want to be heard. If you're having an argument with your spouse, it takes two people to argue. So remove yourself from the argument. Don't argue. Just listen and be like, what do you want me to hear? And that stopped the argument right there, right? I gotta practice that because I haven't. I'm not anointed for that yet. She said, "What I know for sure is that a lack of intimacy is not distance from someone else; it is disregard for yourself. It's true that we all need the kind of relationships that enrich and sustain us." She said, but it's also true that if you're looking for someone to heal and complete you, to shush that voice inside you that has always whispered, you're not worth anything, you're wasting your time. So she said it is your responsibility to love yourself. You can't look from love from the outside. Love has to come from within. What are your thoughts on that? Do you love yourself?
Yeah.
How do you know you love yourself?
Love yourself. You can't do anything to hurt yourself because you love yourself. So that's why I know I love myself.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. So I heard a lot of people saying, women, there were single women or whatever, and they was like, oh, I'm not gonna buy this because I'm gonna allow my husband to buy this for me, or I'm not going to go to this place. I'm not gonna go to Paris because I want that to be between me and my husband. I want my husband, to take me to Paris. But how about you show your husband the way you want to be loved? So how about you buy yourself that purse? How about you buy yourself those shoes? How about you buy yourself that ring? How about you buy yourself that trip to Paris? And then he can know, okay, I know what type of lady I'm dealing with. This is a well-traveled lady. This lady, she likes nice things. So I know if I'm gonna have to get on her level. I'm gonna have to, meet her standards or whatever. So don't delay. Don't stop loving yourself because you want somebody else to love you. Do you understand that? So you gotta love yourself first. You gotta treat yourself nice before someone else is gonna treat you nice. You have to set the standard of what love is to you in order for somebody to love you. I don't want to get caught up on material things because material things are not a big, I just don't want to get, the material things is what does not define a relationship. We can need to talk self-respect. If you respect yourself, that individual is going to respect you. If you don't respect yourself, that individual is not going to respect you. So if you curse, that person's going to curse in front of you, even though.
Yes, of course. You have to respect yourself.
I fall subject to that sometimes. I'm trying to get rid of that, that stronghold over me. But that person's going to curse around you. That person's going to allow people to, curse around you or whatever. So it's what you allow. The Creator has given us full responsibility for our life. And with that responsibility comes an amazing privilege, the power to give yourself the love, affection, and intimacy you may not have received as a child. You are the one best mother, father, sister, friend, cousin, and lover you will ever have. So don't be like, oh, my mama didn't give me this. Oh, my daddy didn't love me. Oh, my husband didn't love me. Love yourself. Be like, oh, dang, you won't take me out to eat to a nice restaurant. Well, you know what? I'm going to take myself out to eat to a nice restaurant. Oh, they won't take me on a vacation. Well, you know what? I'm going to go on vacation by myself. I'm not going to stop doing what makes me happy because that person won't do that for me. That right now, you're one choice away from seeing yourself as someone whose life has inherent significance, So choose to see it that way. And I love that she uses the word choice and choose. Every day is a choice. Your life as it exists today, my life as it exists today, Daniel's life as it exists today is a combination of choices that we have made in our lives. The reason why we're in Dubai right now, because we made so many choices. I made a choice. First of all, I made a choice to go on vacation in Dubai, for 2 weeks by myself, leading up to Christmas. And then I ended up meeting him. And then I made a decision, a choice to continue to talk to him, on the phone. And then I made a choice to go on vacation with him for my birthday in Thailand. And then I made another choice because I told myself I don't go to destinations twice, to go see him in Abu Dhabi for Thanksgiving for 6 days. And then I made another choice to resign from my job to come and take a one-way ticket here and be with him. I've been here for 2 years and going on 10 months. All those are choices that I made that led me to this day. We all have the liberty to make choices to decide the life that we want to live. Choice, free will. We all have free will. So we have to make a choice, and we have to live with the choices that we've made in our life. Not doing anything is a choice. Moving on to the next section. Guys, once again, Oprah, because you got to understand, this lady has been poor, she's been middle class, she's been rich, and now she's ultra rich. So she's lived all the spectrums that you could live. You understand? She's been through so many seasons in her life. So she has knowledge. She's wise. This woman has wisdom. And when she said what she knows for sure, I'm taking this literally. Because this woman knows something. She goes on to say the key to any relationship is communication.
The key
to any relationship is communication.
Yeah. I understand.
Because you always say that. You said we understand ourselves.
Because you have to communicate so you know how you want to live. Mm-hmm. You have to sit down and decide. Communication. This is, I like this. I don't like this. This is how we have to do it. You understand? So yes, everything is good. So if you don't talk, sometimes, though I don't talk, but I have some things we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So, yeah.
But I was gonna say this: communication is not always talking, though. It's body language as well. Because you tell me this all the time. You said that I don't study you. You said you study me, so you know what to do to make me happy, and what not to do, so I won't be unhappy. So you study me.
Mm-hmm. But I believe I agree more than you sit down and talk.
Okay.
Yeah, you talk to the person. Okay.
But I don't think everybody understands each other, because sometimes you don't understand my English.
Right.
Is that not true?
Sometimes.
That's why I keep asking you. I have to ask you. I was like, "Do you understand?" And you always gonna go, "Why are you asking me? Do I understand?" Because tell me what I said to you. Because I need to know that you got the same understanding that I have. Because I don't want you to be like, after this happens, oh, I thought you meant this. No. Do you understand? Well, if so, tell me what I told you.
What is you told me? You tell me bring press. We don't call it press.
That's a good example.
The way we pronounce it, the way we call it, is not same the way you. So you confuse me after you say I don't understand it.
Great example. Because once again, it can be to understand. That's why you got to make sure there's a clear communication. So where he comes from, they call this a purse. Well, I call this a wallet. This is a wallet.
No,
this is a purse.
So
when I say, I'm like, baby, bring me my purse. We always bring 2 years, 10 months. Baby, bring me my purse. Bring me my purse. So we have to come to an agreement. What is this going to be called? So let's. I think we're confused. So what are we going to call this? Are we gonna from now on? Are we going to call this purse or are we going to call this wallet?
Wallet.
We're going to call this
You call
wallet.
this purse. This is handbag. You call this handbag.
Okay, but in America we don't call this handbag. We don't even use the word handbag.
Alright, see, so it's different.
So
this doesn't mean I don't understand it.
Uh,
Then okay, I also say you don't understand me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to be clear under your communication. Okay, so that's why you got to make. That's why I always ask, do you understand? And if you understand, tell me, what did I tell you? So that's how you communicate. You make sure that understanding is clear. Oh, and she said another thing you can say. She said that. Oh, let's finish this first sentence. She said, and I always thought that communication is like a dance. One person takes a step forward, and the other takes a step back. And she said that you should ask the person, what do you really want here? Like when there's confusion going on, you should ask a person, what do you really want here? Mm-hmm. And just be quiet and listen. And then she goes on to say is, I want to know that you value me, extend a hand of connection and understanding, and offer 3 of the most important words any of us can receive, and that's I hear you. Because everybody wants to be heard. She said, I know for sure your relationship will be better for it. So when you're having a disagreement with someone, you should ask them, what is it that you want from me? And then in addition, you should tell them that I hear you, because everyone wants to be acknowledged and everyone wants to be heard. She talks about people would really think that she's a very social person, but she said for years she was not a social person because she lived in a condo or a high rise where she didn't know her neighbors. You know, she didn't even know the people on her floor because she lived with. But once she made a decision to buy a house, and she was in the neighborhood at the grocery store, someone said to her, you know, welcome to the neighborhood and we hope you enjoy it here. And she said she thought that was the nicest words that someone could say to her. And she said one neighbor invited her to, you know, a social gathering at that house. Just from then on, she's been going to all these social gatherings in her neighborhood, and she can name all of her neighbors, you know, in her community. And I agree with that. I'm the same way. I feel as though that I'm an ambivert. So an ambivert is a mix of an introvert and an extrovert. Like I really enjoy my alone time, but when I get with people, as you can see at church today, like I can run my mouth. But honestly, when I'm at home, what am I doing? Am I on the phone at home? Do I talk on the phone at home? What am I doing?
It's writing and reading.
Writing and reading. I love my alone time. I really do. I love it. I love to be with my thoughts and stuff. So yeah. So she was saying to make an effort, you know, to make a connection, make an effort, you know, to spend time with people and get to know people and show love to people. She said, and whether you're 25 or 65, it should involve bringing all of who you are to the table and walking away with even more. And I agree with that, because God forbid, if our marriage does not survive, I'm a better person because being with you. Exercise will never not be a part of my life now, you know, because I've been around you so much and you exercise so much all the time. Yeah.
Same to you. Same.
Mhm.
Like reading.
Yes.
So that's why I say we change ourselves. That's our relationships.
Yes.
Learn.
Because he didn't like to read. Oh my God, it was a struggle. It was a struggle. I was like, how can we're so opposites. How can a person who loves to read, who loves to be immersed in the book, marry someone who doesn't like to read? He's reading this book right now. Look at this book. Look at this. My husband, oh, my husband, the man that did not like to read. Look at this. Look where he is. My husband. This is my husband, or sportsman, or only want to exercise, only want to look at football highlights, or he's reading this book and this is where he is. And I don't have to be like, are you reading? Are you reading? Are you reading? He's reading this on his own. We're becoming better people by being together. In every relationship you're in, you should become a better person. And I'm finding out, and I can even attest to this, when I was younger, I thought that relationships was transactional. You know, it's like, okay, the guy needs to do this, and he 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 do this. But him doing that, spending money or whatever, how is that person making me a better person? Is your mate teaching you to be a better person? How is your mate growing you? How is your mate or friend? It doesn't have to be mate. How they're making you think outside the box. How they're saying, oh, you can do, the impossible. Because I remember for the first dating, and I had told him some of my aspirations or whatever. And I've shared aspirations with people before, but you have to be very careful with people you share it with. And when I told him that, he was just like, oh, you can do that. That's not a big deal. And that what really drew me to him. I was like, this man, he believes like I believe. His faith is where my faith is. Oh my God, because if I would have said that to somebody else, they would have been like, girl, you're crazy. You can't do that. And they list the reason why you can't do it. But he was like, oh, yes, you can. It's normal.
Anything you want to do, somebody can do.
Yeah.
So it depends on you. You have to determine okay, you want to build more, you need private jet. Yeah. Somebody have it already.
Somebody have it already.
Why you can't get it?
So why you can't get it? What makes you so different? They got the same blood that's running their veins. They got lungs. They got kidneys. They got a liver. They got a heart. You got a heart. They got eyes. So make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that are pouring into your life.
They believe you can do it.
And making you better.
Also, they will make your morale come down like, you can't do
exactly. Make sure iron is sharpening iron, as they say. He's my iron. I'm his iron. We're sharpening each other, and we're making each other better. Every day, we're becoming better individuals. And she said, just don't focus on romantic love. You get love from everywhere. You can get love from your neighbor. You can get love from your colleague. You can get love from a friend. You can get love from an elderly person. You can get love from a child. Don't just focus on romantic love. Love is everywhere. And I can attest to that because when I was single, I was living in Atlanta, and I was going to this church, a lot of ladies there, and I decided to connect with some of those ladies, and they were not in a romantic relationship. Neither was I, and we loved on each other. So love who God has given you to love. It doesn't always have to be a romantic relationship. In a time of crisis, she was going through something, and someone just stopped by her house, and someone is B.B. Winans. He stopped by her house, and he just sung her a song, and she was like, him just knowing that she was going through that difficult time in her life, and he just stopped by her house to show care and concern that really made her heart melt. And I think that we should do that all the time. We should just be compassionate towards people. A lot of people are having a lot of bad days. And you don't know, just by saying a kind word to someone, how you can just shift the atmosphere. Pass that joy along to others. Let's, just smile. I know it's hard to smile through the mask, but you can smile with your eyes. You can. Don't look better. You can smile with your eyes. Smile with someone with your eyes. Say a kind word to someone. Before you tell someone you want something from a store, stop and greet them. Say, hello, how are you doing today? Do you mind helping me with this? Instead of saying, can you help me show me this? No. Acknowledge that person. Let them know you see them and you care about them. Because remember, our legacy is love. Next, she talks about when her and Gail went on a cross-country trip. And this is what happens to us all the time. She said even though her and Gail, they had been friends for so long. They've been friends for years. But they were stuck in that car driving cross-country. She was like, she realized that Gail likes to have noise all the time. She wants music playing all the time, something in the background all the time, whereas she likes quiet. She likes to be in silence. She didn't want anything. So she just learned to put in some earplugs to drown out the music. You know? And then you can say this, because you said every time, because we used to drive a lot when we first got here. He said every time we get in the car, what happens?
You're fired.
We get in an argument. He said the car makes me argue. He said we get in an argument every time we get in the car.
It's a long journey. Yeah.
It's funny because our last car trip was for my birthday. We went to this place called Rasakema, and Rasakema like an hour and a half away. And so before we left, I told him, I was like, babe, this is my birthday. Do not make this a bad experience. I want this to be a good experience. I want to always remember my 40th birthday as a good experience. Don't argue with me.
If you try to not bring it, sure, we will go in peace.
So yeah, I told him not to argue with me because every time we get in the car, we argue. But thank God it was a good trip. We didn't argue. So I don't remember arguing for my 40th birthday. But yeah, I mean, you can know someone for, you know, a long time, and you know you still have disagreement, right? This is her best friend. She known her for years. And so what was the point of all that? She said, what I know for sure is that if you can survive 11 days in cramped quarters with a friend and come out laughing, your friendship is real. I've known people that go on trips and they don't talk no more. That's happened to me so much. I've been on trips with so many people because I can be a difficult person. I've been on trips with so many people and I stopped being their friends. Look, it's funny because I got a friend named Kendra. She told me that. She said she don't want to go on a trip with me because she said she knows that every time I go on a trip with a friend, I end up not being their friend anymore. I am learning that the world does not revolve around me, even though my husband lets me think that. I should take other people's feelings into consideration and things that they want to do. It can't be all what I want to do, but it has to be compromise. Some things you want to do and do some things the other person want to do. I'm lucky because my husband don't want to do a lot, so it's always what I want to do. She talks about her dog Sadie. She said is about that. She said, well, I know for sure pets represent in our lives a connection to caring that's unconditional and reciprocal. Puppy love, nothing like it. What dogs do, all they do is just love you, unconditional. So you should think about that. So when your child walks in the house, when your husband walks in the house, when someone comes to visit you, the first thing you should do is like, hi, welcome, it's been so delightful. I'm so happy to see you. How was your day? You should show them love. You should show them love, because no one wants to come to, who's going to come to a house that the person going to be complaining all the time? They're going to be telling themselves they're going to try their best not to come to the house. They're going to try to be gone all day until you sleep. That's when they want to come, because they don't want to hear your mouth. So the next time you come home, think about acting like a dog. Is that not true?
It's true. I come to your house and show your face, and it means you are pushing away from me.
So act like a dog, in a good sense. Act like a dog when someone come home. Meet them at the door. Have a glass of water, you know, whatever their favorite beverage is, or cook their favorite meal. Be inviting, be loving, give reciprocal, because that's what a dog does, okay? Act like a dog. And then last but not least, I love how she concludes this chapter. She said, when you make loving others the story of your life, that's never a final chapter, because the legacy continues. You lend your light to one person, and he or she shines it on another, and another, and another. And I know for sure that in the final analysis of our lives, when the to-do lists are no more, when the frenzy is finished, when our email inboxes are empty, the only thing that will have any lasting value is whether we love others and whether they love us. Amen. So our charge to you today is show love. I love you, baby. Show love. It doesn't have to be romantically. It can be to your sister. It can be to your brother. It can be to your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt, your niece, your nephew, your neighbor, your colleague, your stranger. Show love. The charge today is to show love with a smile, with a nice compliment, by doing something for someone. Show love. Okay? Love you guys. Thank you for listening. Would you like to say anything, babe?
It's everything.
Salam alaikum, salam. What I know for sure, Oprah Winfrey.